For the first question, it's already to Adhiraj.
Yes, see, basically the draft requirements and the capacities, they vary from the age in which they have been rolled out from the shipyard. But if you want to take an average view, so an MGC would likely carry around 23,000 metric tons of ammonia. LGC may carry somewhere around 39 to 40K. And as far as the draft requirements are concerned, so around we have seen LGCs going to as much as 11.5 meter draft requirements. On the other hand, the MGCs, they remain around 9.5 to 10 meters. So that is the first query. I suppose that answers Mr. Shetty's question. And anything else?
Maybe we can continue with the vessel loading rate and pressure. And this is also in regards to the ammonia vessels. Can you have an insight here?
Yeah, so basically, it can definitely depend upon your own commercials. All that is required is to have your equipments ready to handle that much flow and the pressure of the particular commodity if you are using pressurized shipments. In our case, we are using purely refrigerated shipments. So the cargo discharge volume would definitely be dependent upon the handling capacity of the marine loading arms. We foresee that the marine loading arms available by the various OCIMF compliant certified compliant companies, they are able to fulfill as much as 2,000 metric tons per hour also. So there is no such restriction in terms of having a maximum cargo loading rate as far as the ships are equipped to manage the ballasting and deballasting for the stability of the vessel itself.
Maybe again on the plant size. There was a question on the plant size, and then this is to Himadri, and which you considered, and then there's a follow-up question: why not consider a smaller one first? Maybe you can, Himadri, give an insight there.
No, so it's mainly because of the scale part, right? So that's one important. So once you have it on scale, you can optimize both in the RE front as well as your overall capex and electrolyzer as well as the ammonia loop. So that is the reason 600 KTPA could be an ideal kind of scenario, right? And also, I mean, your vessel size will also be equivalent to that, right? So you will be having 30,000, 40,000 ton cargo, right? So intermittently you can export it to Europe. Otherwise, if it's a very small size, right? So in that case, you will not get small size cargo, right? So that is also one issue.
Okay.
So here, what you can do, you can just produce and store it near the port, and then, I mean, in one go, you can export around 40,000 ton, 30,000 ton. Otherwise, in case of small size capacity, that would be difficult getting a vessel for exporting that to Europe.
Continuing there with the number of vessels required to transport this amount of ammonia to Europe. There's the question, how many vessels do you think are required for transporting the goal of 5 million metric tons per annum to Europe? Is there an estimation you can give?
So vessel size is 40,000 metric ton, right? So accordingly, you can calculate that what would be the number of vessels required.
Okay.
Yes, so basically I got mute in between, sorry. So Mr. Rolf, it would definitely depend upon the locations and the path which you are taking. If you are taking the Suez path, then you may require lesser volume of vessels if you are going around the South of Africa, Cape of Good Hope, the number of vessels may increase. We did an analysis we have with us, which we have shared. So basically, depending upon the parcel size, the passage that you're taking, you can very well quantify the number of vessels which are required for exporting of XYZ volumes of cargo from any country to Europe or to any other destination.
Thank you, Adhiraj. There are quite a few questions on the ammonia export, and I would continue with a question to you regarding the infrastructure required in assuring safe operations and considering regulations, standard safety tests, audits.
Well,
Thank
it
you,
is
Adhiraj.
definitely a focused, a full detailed chapter would come out of this query, but we can just give you an initial understanding that any cargo shipment would require one surveyor to be in place, who is basically a safety inspector and who is bestowed with the responsibility of ensuring safe cargo loading on board the vessels. That is one. Secondly, all these compliances have to be assured by the ship owner to the port before the port gives them permission to the vessel owner to bring the ship alongside to the port berth. Thirdly, when we float out the chartering inquiry, that time itself we mentioned what all categories of standards we want the particular ship owners to adhere to. So these are all standard protocols, and considering that this is a very interesting topic to some of our esteemed audience, so yes, there are set practices which help any such cargo exports through the shipping mode to be safe and to have minimal exposure to the risk.
I would say one last question. Yes, the carbon emissions during transport by ship. How did you calculate it? And as you said,
Right.
well, Tauhel.
Right. So I'll just tell you. So we have considered marine gas oil, which
Okay.
is the shipping fuel, right? And during shipping, we have considered a consumption of 16 metric ton per day, and 9 metric ton we have considered for port call or anchorage. We have also considered boil off rate and the energy required for reliquefations, also the pumping power used in the vessel, uh, as well as the I mean. Uh, Opening port and the destination port. So all these have considered, and your what is called 16 nautical mile per hour speed of the MGO. So that's how we have calculated the entire transport emissions. And emission intensity of marine gas oil is approximately 3.1 ton of CO2 per ton of MGO combustion. So that gives you approximately 0.1 to 0.15 kind of ton of CO2 per ton of ammonia kind of emissions exclusively coming from the transportation.
Thank you, Himadri.
Yeah, so it has been done through detailed assumptions. So
I see it's just shared on the screen.
Right.
Thank you very much. And we are at the end of this webinar. And before that, I would kindly hand over to Mr. Tobias Winter, Director of the Indo-German Energy Forum Support Office, for his final remarks. Tobias, hello.
Yeah, thank you very much, Clemens, and special thanks to Himadri ji and Adhiraj ji for your presentation. I'm really looking forward to the final report, which, as Clemens said, will be made available to the public. So wonderful to see how much information will be packed into this report. Why we are all doing this at the very end. Germany has a big import demand for green hydrogen, not only Germany, all Europe, but Germany alone, we expect around 1.5 to 3 million tons of green hydrogen imports via derivatives till the year 2030. And there is no doubt that ammonia as the hydrogen carrier is being discussed as one of the most viable options. Green ammonia, certainly. And therefore, we are grateful and thankful to RWE, Tapasji, Mr. Kapadia. Thank you for having taken up this joint endeavor to look deeper into the topic of green ammonia exports from India to Europe, and not only looking at the levelized cost. Certainly, we expect India to be on the lower side globally with the cheapest electrons available. But then how about transport? How about all the emissions involved, no? From the electron being produced until the consumption in Europe, to be able to actually fulfill the thresholds which the delegated acts oblige us to look deeper into it. So yeah, I'm really happy to see that that was also part, or is also part of this exercise. And I'm really looking forward to the final study and the final results. And yeah, with this, I would like to hand over to you, Tapasji. Over to you.
Thanks, Tobias. Yeah, it was quite an extensive presentation and also quite a huge number of participation. So thanks everybody for participating, and thanks Deloitte for their work. And thanks once again for the GIZ team and the H2UP initiative, which has afforded us this opportunity to sort of study this. It will be quite useful for the two countries and the trade between the two countries as well. Obviously, a lot of information here is generic, so each and every project will have to do its own evaluation, particularly applicable to them. So with that caution, yes, a lot of information is there at a general level. Yeah, so I think that's it from my side as well. We will continue our cooperation, and it's good to see all these enthusiastic participation. Thank you.